For 10 years of military service, I sent every paycheck home. When I finally returned wounded, my father looked me in the eye at Christmas dinner and said, "You're a burden. Get out of my house." I took a bus to my grandpa's farm with nowhere else to go. The moment he saw me, he revealed the truth about the money I'd been sending home all those years, and it shattered everything I thought I knew. People always imagine the dramatic version, screaming, plates thrown. It wasn't like that. It was quiet, and quiet was worse. Christmas Eve, my father's table, cane against the chair, left leg ending where it shouldn't. The family talked around me like furniture. The weather, my sister's kitchen renovation. Nobody asked about the deployment. Nobody mentioned the leg. Nobody brought up 10 years of paychecks wired home from 4 combat zones. My mother asked how long I was planning to stay. Not a question. A clock. My father set his fork down. 3 weeks out of the hospital, and already with your hand open. I hadn't come for money. I'd been the one sending it. That money's spent on things that mattered. Not one of them moved. You're a burden. Get out of my house. I stood up and made them watch every second of it. Picked up a cane, left the gifts on the table, looked back once, and not one of them met my eyes. Cold sidewalk. $61 in checking. A body that needed 8 kinds of follow-up. And 2 hours south, my grandfather's bee farm. The one I'd been keeping alive for a decade without ever visiting. Last regional bus. Forehead against the cold glass. My father had always been the middleman. Grandpa's slowing down. Grandpa needs the money. I'd believed every word. The bus left me 2 miles short. I walked in the dark, cane finding frozen ruts, low farmhouse, sagging porch, rows of white boxes, hives silent in December, wood smoke, under it wax and old honey. The porch light came on. My grandfather stood in the doorway in flannel, reading glasses pushed up on his forehead. He looked at the cane, the leg, the duffel. I braced for pity. What I got was confusion. "Sam, what in God's name are you doing way out here?" Dad threw me out. Nowhere else. I came to help with the farm. He let me in. Warm kitchen. Coffee in front of me before he said another word. Then, "Sam, the farm's not in trouble. Hasn't been in years." I'd been sending money every deployment. For the mortgage, the equipment, the bad seasons. My father told me. His face went pale, then very still. "What money?" Not a question. "Sam, I never got a cent. Your father told me you'd gone quiet. Said the army changed you. Said you stopped writing." I had written. Cards from 3 continents. Photographs. Calls to a number that had never once been his. Every time I asked after you, he said the same thing. She stopped writing. She didn't want us. I gripped the table like a rail on a moving deck. He had intercepted the letters, returned them unopened in his own handwriting, returned to sender, and built a 10-year lie in both directions. Convincing me the farm was drowning. Convincing my grandfather I'd walked away. Every dollar I earned passed through his hands and stayed there. Nearly $200,000. My sister's wedding. The down payment on her 4-bedroom. My father's boat. The lake house he called a good investment. He built their comfortable life on my paychecks. And the whole time my grandfather sat out here thinking I didn't want him anymore. That was the part that got me, not the money. That. Before sunrise, he put another cup in front of me without a word. "You can stay," he said. "Not as charity. I'm 78 and my hands shake some mornings. I could use a second set. I don't know anything about bees. Nobody does until they do. You can't rush a hive." "Why are you offering?" I asked. He turned his mug on the table. "Because you got off a bus in the cold and knocked on my door. That's more than your father's done in 6 years." Then he said the thing I've carried ever since. "Blood's just an accident, Sam. Family's the people who answer when you call." I stayed. Hard work, slow days, exactly what I needed. By summer, we had more honey than 2 markets could move. One evening, he pulled a folder from the back bedroom and set it on the kitchen table. An irrevocable trust. The farm locked up tight. My name in it as co-trustee. Signed 9 years earlier. The same year my father first started pushing him to hand the place over. The one person who'd never let this land get paved, he said, was the one already giving everything she had for it. My father wanted those 40 acres. A developer had been circling the county road, and my grandfather's land sat right in the middle. The keystone parcel. Sell it. Surface from whatever hole he'd dug. The only thing standing between him and that money was me. He hadn't thrown me out at Christmas in anger. He'd thrown me out as a move. He just hadn't counted on me getting off that bus.